Today we got ourselves a 2008 Toyota Corolla. Came in with a no crank, no start, no ECM. The check engine light won't even show up. We checked all the fuses, checked all the relays. Everything checks all fine. As you can see with the key. Check engine light should be around this area, and nothing will happen. So then we started checking now the electrical part, checking for power distribution, how everything's supposed to go. And I will show you right now the schematics on what I found. So we here have the schematics. It shows the EFI relay, fuses, everything checked out good. But every time we would put the ignition on, this relay would not fire up. So then we started tracing wires, and then so I started checking the wiring on the ignition switch, and here you can see that it's a black and white wire that leads to this area over here, a relay that's actually under the dash, and this one, which runs to the next page to some other stuff, but here and here. So before I took off down here to check, I followed these wires, these two. If you follow them more, it leads all the way to the they led up all the way to the mass airflow sensor and the evap. You see these two right here, leads here and two right here. To one of these leads all the way back. And with the ignition on, these did not have power. And to put it simply, basically, there's no power coming out from this. So what I did is, there is power coming out from the main one. This is the main power straight from battery. It is like a tan colored, and right here are the two black and white, and we're gonna poke it here. And when I put the key forward, there's no power, and the check engine light doesn't turn on. So what I did was I grabbed some wire, I stuck it inside the black and white pin, and then with the other one, key still forward, I basically gave it power, and you're gonna see the check engine light. I'm gonna stick it here. While I do that, you'll see the check engine light turn on. See there? Now I'm going to remove it. So while I was checking the way the power goes, this one sends it to all these here. And what I know is that this one runs over here to the ignition switch. So this is how it knows that there's power to the ignition switch. So here at the connector, here it shows pin number 9, which is a black and orange wire. So here at the computer, this is the connector, the first one. From here to over here, it's 7 pins. So it should be the second one right here. Let me take it off. Here's the orange. So what I did is I put the ignition on with the key forward and a test light, there was no power coming to it. So with that, I concluded that there's no power coming from the ignition switch to the computer, which turns it on. And I started checking on the starting circuit, and to the ignition switch, I noticed that it's actually a black wire that runs to it. It runs to a fuse box that's actually under the dash, and I'll show you, which is here. And there's supposed to be a 15 amp fuse, and from what feeds this fuse box is the main fuse that's over there by the engine compartment. So this does have power all the way to over here. I did check, and this fuse does have power. So there is actually an issue from the fuse to the ignition switch. And what I did to correct this problem was I created a wire that ran from here to the battery. Since I couldn't really find another power source down there under the dash, I'll show you right now how I did it. I tapped into the black wire, ran a wire all the way to the battery, and I made my own little fuse holder for a 15 amp fuse just to make sure it's properly protected. Right here, so you can see how I did it. Here's the black wire. This is actually the power. I tapped into it, ran a wire from here, made a little fuse holder, ran it down there, made it come out through the firewall down there, ran it down around, and then ran it over here to the battery. And now with that wiring done, having its own power, we'll put the key forward, check engine light lights up, especially the battery, crank it, turns on, running, we turn it off, and the power shuts off and the computer. Well, hopefully if you're going through this same situation, maybe this might be something you might have in case you want to look into that, and hopefully this helps. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.